You're an orphan abandoned by the whole world, but you are adopted by the most dangerous hypnotist. You even swallow the sleeping pills he feeds you every day with a smile, and even offer your neck to him to leave bite marks. Everyone thinks you are just a toy in his palm, but in the blind spot of the surveillance camera, you're wiping the bloody blade. When Orphan bought it, I still kept the same posture. Except for blinking my eyes, I didn't make any other movements. I knew he was looking at me, trying to find out something from my reaction, but he was destined to be disappointed. He thought he was good at psychology and felt that he had the ability to see through people's hearts, but Asher, was always a surprise to him, and he never really understood me. Brother Shun, the porridge is for you. I specially added 2 spoons of sugar for you and these 2 eggs. I will peel them for you. You should eat them while they are hot. Orphan put the porridge on my uninjured hand. I found that his tone and expression seemed a little different this time, not like last time that made me feel uncomfortable. I looked up at him and then at the egg. Brother Yin used to steal eggs for me to eat, but I never wanted to taste them. For this reason, I said I didn't like egg yolks and left them for Brother Yin. Until now, I still have this habit. In fact, I don't like eating eggs that much, but this egg carries too much affection between us, so I will eat it. As long as I eat eggs, it's as if Brother Yin is still by my side, and I won't be so lonely. After a long silence, I finally spoke up and said that I don't eat egg yolks. Orphan thought I would refuse, but he didn't expect me to say such a thing. He picked up the spoon next to him, separated the egg white from the egg yolk, and scooped the egg white into my bowl. Watching me eat, he seemed to have made up his mind. Brother Shun, from now on, I will accompany you. I will treat you well and take good care of you. Will you live with me in the future? He put the person next to him, probably because he thought that nothing would happen. He didn't actually have much hope. According to my personality, I should refuse him, which means that he needs to spend more time on me. Unexpectedly, I agreed directly. Well, this answer stunned him directly. He didn't expect me to agree so readily. I looked up at him. My eyes were full of trust, 100% trust. But just when he lowered his head, my eyes suddenly became dark. I said in my heart, I will trust you again. I hope you don't lie to me again. Otherwise, the consequences will be very serious. After all, I can't control myself now. During the days in the hospital, I seemed very quiet and obedient. The only time I had different emotions was when I received the information sent by the lawyer that day, the teacher's inheritance distribution. It clearly stated, all the property under the name belongs to his student Asher. When I saw this sentence, I couldn't help it anymore. The emotions that had been held back and not out of control could not be controlled at this moment. My tears flowed from my red eyes. I sobbed and huddled like a hedgehog. That face was full of despair, and a pair of peach blossom eyes were full of grievances. I was the only one in the huge ward, but my crying was extremely suppressed, without any sound. I guarded that inheritance tightly, and I swore in my heart that I would avenge my teacher, no matter what the cost. I didn't forget that the person who cleaned up the scene said that the medicine on the ground was crushed, and there were obvious footprints. I won't let this person go. Since Orphan also wants to use me, I'll help him. Anyway, it's quite fun. After being discharged from the hospital, Orphan took me directly to a small house, which is far away from the city center and backed by mountains. It looks like a comfortable place, but the house is a little old, but it has everything it should have. Brother Shun, from today on, let's live here together. I will work hard to find a job and make money to support you. Orphan smiled brightly and gently, as if he put his heart in front of me. I didn't say anything and just smiled back. My eyes were as clear as before, still so clean. What they didn't know was that Moon was also looking for me, but all the information was covered up by Orphan. Young Master, we really haven't found young Master Shun. He's just as if he's missing. If we keep looking like this, it will be a big deal. If the head of the family finds out, you might be punished again. The men were all trembling with fear, lowering their heads, not daring to speak. The man sitting on the high seat was naked, with a bandage on his abdomen, and his face was pale. But the sense of oppression he released frightened everyone present. Do you think I'm afraid of that punishment? Keep sending people to look for him. Also, there's so many things going on over there. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Do you all want to die? Moon's voice was calm. He really couldn't imagine how such a small creature could endure so much suffering. Young Master, you should know that this is a critical period. What you need to do is to accumulate strength, and then give the other young masters a fatal blow and seize the position of the head of the family. You shouldn't waste things on one person. The person who spoke was the leader of the group. They were absolutely loyal to Moon, and they also knew how much effort their young master had made for today's situation. They would not let me affect the entire layout alone. Since this is your first time, I won't kill you. Go down and accept the punishment. Also, Moon, never need others to do something I don't like under the banner of doing good for me. I have the ability and the qualifications to protect Asher. Moon's eyes were extremely firm. He didn't understand what love was, but he was sure that one person was a lifelong thing. Even if he used despicable means to turn the other person into a soulless doll, he would do it without hesitation. Go down, continue to send people to look for it. If it's alive, I want to see the person. If it's dead, I want to see the body. Even if it's a rotten body, it should appear in front of me. As for the owner of the family, I will take care of it myself. You don't have to worry about it. Moon's eyes have never been on them, but on the roses next to them. This is what he planted, and it is also a gift he carefully prepared for me. Flowers should be paired with beauties, but unfortunately, I can't find it before the gift is sent out. He raised his hand and picked a rose casually. His fingertips were cut instantly, and blood flowed from his bony hands, but he didn't care. He took the rose and removed the thorns on it bit by bit, having a lot of fun. Asher, you'd better be fine, otherwise, I will really make you into a specimen. Moon threw the rose casually and leaned lazily on the sofa. He was full of fatigue, he was really tired. Too many things piled up together. Moon felt a little overwhelmed, and at this time, he urgently wanted me to stay by his side. I am so small, but I feel safe when I hold you while sleeping. Orphan hid me very well, and the place we lived in could be described as a place where no one lives, completely out of touch with the world. This was the last step in his plan. No matter how distressed he was, he would not give up his plan for many years for me. He was just a man, and it was not worth it for him to put down his butcher knife and become a Buddha on the spot. Our life was simple. During the day, Orphan went out to work, and I was alone at home. However, I usually sat on the sofa all day at this time because there were surveillance cameras everywhere in the house. It was really difficult for him to monitor himself like this, but I didn't want to say it out loud. If he wanted to act, I would accompany him to the end. Brother Sean, I put breakfast on the table, remember to eat it, and rest after eating. I have to go to work early today. Orphan took off his apron and wanted to touch my hair, but I leaned back and avoided it perfectly. He could only withdraw his hand awkwardly and touch his nose. Okay, I will eat it. I was still very cold. Looking at the porridge on the table, the calculation in my eyes would not lie. In front of him, I drank the bowl of porridge and watched him leave. I turned around and looked at the camera in the living room without saying anything. I yawned, sneaked into the bathroom, and vomited violently in the wash basin. The corners of my mouth hooked, sleeping pills. Even this was used on me. It was really a clumsy method. Orphan, don't let me down too much. My teacher's revenge depends on you. When I said this, my eyes became scarlet again. Since the last time, it has been difficult for me to control the violent factor in my body. If it were in the past, I would definitely find a way to suppress it, but now I don't want to, not at all. I will use this to avenge my teacher. No one can persuade me to be good. After washing my face, I walked out as if nothing had happened and fell asleep on the sofa. After a while, Orphan, who should have left, appeared in the room. A familiar smell immediately filled the whole room. He approached me step by step, sat on the ground, and lay on the edge of the sofa, looking at my face. His hand touched it unconsciously. Asher, you will love me, right? You can help me get what I want, right? The warm breath hit my ears, very magnetic, very gentle, with an indescribable charm. Yeah, my voice sounded confused, and I had no independent consciousness at all. It was like being controlled. When he heard the answer he wanted, Orphan chuckled. In this case, I will avenge Xiaoyan. I will make Elias pay the price, which can be regarded as compensation for Xiaoyan. Just don't be too desperate and hate me too much when I send you out. He didn't notice that I was holding my hand tightly. At this moment, I realized that it was Elias who killed my teacher. Not only that, it has nothing to do with the person in front of me. It's really interesting that I was deceived by the people around me. In this case, everyone should be prepared because my revenge is coming. Let's see who can play to the end. Orphan didn't expect that one day he would become a chess piece from a chess player because of his overconfidence in his hypnosis skills. After he finished what he had to do, he left with a sense of unfulfilled desire. It was a long time before I woke up slowly, and no one noticed that I was holding a blade in my hand. My palm was bleeding, and I used this method to give myself an advantage in that hypnosis. I looked at the clock on the wall. It was afternoon. I was sure that Orphan would come back again in a while. I have to sigh, he is really good at playing. Isn't it tiring to lie to himself like this every day? Suddenly, there was a sound of a truck outside the door. I looked out through the window. It was indeed Orphan. Picking up the blade in my hand, I went into the bathroom, washed off all the blood on my hands, and then pretended to just wake up and walked out. When he saw me, Orphan grinned with a hearty smile, revealing two small tiger teeth, like a child waiting for praise. Brother Shun, look, this is the piano I bought for you with the wages I saved for several months. Take a look, do you like it? I was stunned for a moment, then raised the corners of my mouth with an obvious smile in my eyes. My eyes were very bright with light. The boy was good-looking, and when he smiled, his eyes seemed to be seductive, giving people the illusion that their heartbeats slowed down. Orphan turned around awkwardly and directed the master to move the piano in, his ears slightly red. He hadn't realized that he had already lost to me, and his heart was also lost. Brother Shun, can your fingers play? The room was already very small, and after putting down the piano, it seemed even smaller. Looking at the piano, it was not cheap at first glance, and it was also a part-time job. I felt a little emotional, but I didn't reply. I just sat in front of the piano and tried to press it. I can't play with one hand, but the other one is good. I tried the sound and found it was really good, but I can't play it happily anymore. The piano is very good. The price should not be cheap. Thank you. I like it very much. I looked up at Orphan, my eyes full of gratitude. It's okay, Brother Shun. I am happy to move a few more bricks for your happiness. He took out the cake like offering a treasure. I quickly recognized that this was the restaurant where Dominic took me last time. It seems that the other party is richer than I thought. I took it from Orphan's hand, scooped a big spoonful, and put it in my mouth. It still tasted the same, but I didn't like it as much as before. Suddenly, I scooped a mouthful, handed it to Orphan's mouth, and nodded to signal him to open his mouth. His eyes were too hot, which surprised me a little, but he still opened his mouth. He actually didn't like to eat such things, but surprisingly, the one I fed him today was not as disgusting as he imagined. Brother Shun, it's really delicious. If you like it, I'll bring it to you next time. After Orphan entered the kitchen, I put down the cake. My fingers kept rubbing the piano. Looking at my side, there was no one to play the piano with me anymore. I was the only one left after all. I moved my fingers and secretly played the teacher's song, which was the teacher's most proud masterpiece. It was also the first song I played for him when we met. This time, I played the song of reunion with guilt. It played sadness, everything, but no happiness. The former Asher was gone. Now, I'm just a living dead, a person who lives on revenge. The intense pain in my fingers soon came over, dense and painful to the heart. I didn't finish playing in the end. My hand bones were broken, and I was no longer suitable for playing the piano. I got up and walked into the bathroom and took a cold shower for myself, as if self-abuse could make me feel better. When Orphan came out, he saw me wearing a black shirt, with my slender fingers on my bent legs. His expression was indifferent and cold, and his profile was particularly delicate, especially the teardrop mole, which was red and delicate. It made me look very beautiful and aggressive, and what was even more terrible was that my hair was not dried at all at this time. The water droplets slowly slid down from my hair and dripped on my shoulders, and my whole body exuded a fragrance. A normal person would not be able to control himself, and Orphan's self-control has always been amazing. But at this time, he could also clearly feel the heat coming from his body, and he wanted to bully me. Let me cry and beg for mercy from him. When he approached, I turned my head and looked at him in confusion. His eyes were clean, and there was no thought, which instantly made him feel that he was too dirty. Brother Shun, why don't you dry your hair? It's easy to get a headache. He coughed lightly and suppressed the abnormality in his body. My hand hurts. When I said these two words, I was a little bit coquettish and aggrieved, which sounded very pitiful. Orphan's tone also softened unconsciously. He probably thought that he would indulge me just once, just this time. Then I'll wipe it for Brother Shun. He picked up the towel next to him and started to work on my hair. His movements were quite gentle. I was very obedient and basically did not move. It was just a faint tooth mark on my neck that attracted his attention. He held the towel tighter, and his eyes became dangerous. Someone had bitten me before. Really? It's terrible. He doesn't like it. Brother Shun, where did the teeth mark on your neck come from? There was a little jealousy in his tone. He didn't know that it seemed that I accidentally revealed it, but it was actually intentional. I wanted to use myself as bait to retaliate against Orphan. When I heard it, I reached out and touched the teeth mark. After thinking for a while, I slowly said, Dominic bit it. Then I got a silence, and even the action of wiping my hair stopped. However, he soon started to wipe my hair again, and he had a plan in his mind. He has a strong possessiveness, and I really look forward to his performance. At night, a figure sneaked into my room quietly, without turning on the light, just sitting by the bed. He looked at me with extremely sick and cold eyes and reached out to rub the bite mark on my neck. As if disgusted, he took out alcohol wet paper from his pocket and rubbed it repeatedly on my neck. I clearly felt it and rubbed my face on his hand like a spoiled kitten. I completely trusted him and put my life in his hands. He was startled, and at the same time, he began to enjoy this feeling. After all, he had given me sleeping pills, and all my actions were unconscious. Unconscious trust, unconditional trust, let him slowly let down his defenses. He liked me very much, like me like this. Asher, you'll love me, right? I am your only relative in this world. As long as you are good, I will keep you for a while, be good. He put his hand on my neck again, and I rubbed it consciously. The movement was very light and relaxed, and I still said good. He felt very accomplished and felt that his hypnosis was too successful. Judging from my daily performance, I really trust him more and more and rely on him more and more. He will succeed in making me fall in love with him soon. He probably doesn't know that I have my own plans for this kind of love for him. After rubbing for a while, he still felt uncomfortable, stood up, and gently bit my neck. I shrank my body and turned my face away, and there was almost no distance between him and me. The warm breath sprinkled on his face, turning his original bite into a kiss. I'll let you go this time, good night. As the door was closed, I changed my posture. I buried myself in the quilt and wiped the breath still hidden on my neck. It's really disgusting. I almost couldn't help it just now. In fact, I don't like others to be too close, but for my own plan, I endured it again and again. I didn't kill him. My eyes were full of blood, and the violent factor in my body kept reminding me how much I hate his actions just now. If you want me to fall in love with you, it's not easy. Then fall in love with it. I hope, orphan, you can bear my love. The devil has to pay a price for falling in love with someone. In the studio on the other side, the display screen kept flashing red. The mysterious man sat on the chair, licking a lollipop in a good mood, with a pair of long legs on the experimental table. Showing a gentle smile, Master, Asher is currently in a particularly dangerous state. His mood has fluctuated a lot these days, and he has all kinds of emotions, one of the reports shows. He seems to have found something interesting, and this indicator has never appeared before. This is the first time that everyone has seen that demons can also have things that interest them. It's still the kind of love from the bottom of their hearts. It doesn't matter. Let him play for a while, and after he's done it, he will naturally calm down and come back. The mysterious man has no interest in what I do. I'm not someone he can easily touch, and it's difficult for him to control me. In this regard, the mysterious man is still very self-aware. If I get angry by accident, it will be troublesome. He is still very patient in dealing with my affairs. He doesn't mind waiting for me to come back silently. My unguarded and completely trusting appearance makes Orphan very useful. He decided to get some justice for me a little bit and anonymously sent information to Dominic and Jack. The content on it will definitely interest these two people. Jack saw it at the front desk. After reading it, his hand holding the information couldn't help but tremble. Teardrops fell on the documents one by one, and then he started laughing. He guessed right. Asher was his brother. His brother who should have died young. He flipped through the documents and looked at the USB flash drive in the file bag. He didn't care about any manners and directly grabbed the laptop at the front desk and played the contents of the USB flash drive. You don't know until you see it, and you almost miss it. The woman in the video is my mother. Jack watched her exchange me with her dead child. They were so stupid that they didn't notice it at all. They were also sad, causing me to suffer so much outside. Jack suddenly remembered the look in my eyes when I was in the art academy. Maybe I envied Elias for being loved by someone. The people at the front desk were a little overwhelmed when they saw the tears of their president falling continuously, and no one dared to speak. Jack stretched out his hand to his face and wiped away all the tears roughly. He ran out without looking back, leaving behind only a gust of wind and a group of confused employees. Hey, send someone to find Asher. No matter what the cost, you must find him for me. Also, check where Asher's mother lives. I need the address in 2 minutes. Jack's eyes were slightly red and his voice was a little crying, but these still did not affect his dominance and his swift and decisive methods. The person on the other side did not dare to slack off and quickly sent the address to Jack. Jack didn't care about anything now. He just wanted to find me, love me, treat me well, and tell me that he actually loves me very much. I don't need to envy anyone. Looking at the road that was so dirty that there was no place to stay, and the house was so dilapidated that it could collapse at any time, Jack found it hard to imagine that I grew up in such a place. If it were any other time, he would never step into such a place, but this time he must go in and ask in person why. He kicked in the shabby house and looked at the woman who was eating his mother's best friend, who he once called Aunt Shio. The woman was obviously frightened by this change and quickly put down her bowl and chopsticks. Seeing that Jack was dressed relatively rich, her attitude immediately became flattering. "Young man, what's wrong with you?" She was smiling and had a very good attitude. This made Jack very angry. He didn't expect that the person who was once so glorious and was known as a talented woman with his mother would become like this. "Aunt Shio, do you still remember me? I am Jack." Her tone was extremely cold, and her inner anger had been suppressed to the extreme. Jack was really uncomfortable. As soon as this introduction came out, the woman's smile froze instantly. She couldn't help but take a few steps back, with horror in her eyes. The surname was Jiang, and she was very familiar with it. After all, if Jack's mother hadn't interfered, she should be Jack's father's wife now, enjoying all the glory and wealth. Instead of being like this now, it was this kind of jealousy that drove her to steal me. Now you know you are afraid. When you stole Asher, you should have guessed that there would be such a day. The other party took a step back, and he took a step forward, pressing step by step, and gave the other party a lot of oppression in terms of height. Tell me, my mother didn't do anything to let you down. Why did you treat our family like that?" Jack had tears in his eyes when he said this. He was afraid that he would hear that I was not doing well. When Jack's mother was mentioned, the woman's mental state was not good. Her eyes were filled with poison, and she stared at Jack with round eyes. Even her voice was irritable. "I did it on purpose. I was jealous of your mother. Why? Why is she the best in everything, good-looking, good at playing the piano, and even her marriage is happy? We grew up together. Why am I always suppressed by her? I don't accept it. I just want to see your mother sad. The sadder she is, the happier I am." At this point, she laughed crazily, and the wrinkles on her face piled together, looking hideous. You may never imagine how much pain Asher suffered when I tortured him, and how happy I was. Especially when I saw him kneeling on the ground with a dog chain, crying and begging for mercy. You can't imagine how my blood was boiling and how obsessed I was with that feeling. Jack couldn't hold back his tears any longer, and he clenched his fists tightly. He wanted to smash the woman's face at this moment. In Jack's mind, he could already imagine how scared I was when I was kneeling on the ground begging for mercy, and what he was doing at this time. He was probably playing with a group of his friends. He really deserved to die. Seeing Jack's performance, the woman became more and more excited. "You don't know. He has never had a full meal since he was a child. I always starve him for a few days. Then I gave him rotten food, which was like pig food, and he still ate it happily." The smile on his face was still so bright. "Oh, actually, these are nothing. You haven't seen him kneeling straight in the snow naked. He was stiff and still smiled at me. He was really cheap. But later I felt that torturing him was really boring, so I sold him to the Shun family. Let him have his bone marrow extracted, beaten and scolded. Ha ha. Don't mention how cool it was." Jack's tears had long been gone. Like money, it kept falling. He raised his fist and punched the woman. Jack, never hit a woman. But the woman in front of him deserved to be beaten. She deserved to die. Come on, arrest her. Jack knew that he could not make up for anything now. But he would not let this woman go. "I want you to atone for your sins for the rest of your life." Even the driver had never seen Jack's vicious look for the first time. His master looked cold, but he would never say such words. If there was, it must be that the other party had done something unforgivable. Jack turned around and got in the car. He could no longer hold back, and tears kept rolling down like they didn't want money. His heart was suffocating as if it was pinched by an invisible hand, and he couldn't calm himself down. It was his fault that his brother suffered so much outside because he didn't protect him well. Emotions spread to the driver. He could feel the sadness and guilt of his master, and he felt distressed in his heart but didn't know how to comfort him. Unlike Jack's grief, Dominic fell into confusion. He looked at the black butterfly mark on the document and began to doubt himself. Dominic's eyebrows showed a hint of anxiety, and his eyes were much gloomier than usual. His eyebrows were slightly wrinkled, and a decadence jumped out from the depths of his eyes from time to time. His facial expression was a little complicated, as if there was an unsolvable knot in his heart. The person with the black butterfly mark in the photo was his savior. He was pushed into the cold lake by his friends at that time. When he thought he was going to die, a hand pulled him out of the extremely dark lake and gave him hope of life. When he woke up, There was only Elias in front of him. He didn't think about it at the time, and he felt at ease to regard Elias as his savior. So he followed Elias like a dog since he was a child. He silently protected and cared for each other and completely forgot to verify it. But at this time, he realized how important this butterfly mark was. Elias didn't have it in his hand, never had it. That is to say, God played a big joke on him. His whole head was buried in his arms. He didn't know what his feelings were for Elias now. His heart was very confused at the moment, really confused. As soon as Elias entered the door, he saw Dominic sitting on the sofa in a daze. He called out many times tentatively, but didn't get any response. He slowly approached and touched Dominic's forehead. The coldness made Dominic react. Elias asked with a smile. This smile made me a little dazed. I suddenly missed myself. I would also smile, and my smile was more moving than this. Dominic's tone seemed a little stiff, not as natural as before. It's okay, I'm just too tired. Are you tired from studying today? Elias was of course happy. I was ruined by him, and the person disappeared. From then on, no one could take away the love of his family. All the beautiful things in the world belong to him. Of course he is happy. He has no regrets. He thinks this is definitely the best thing he has done. I'm fine. I'm still happy to learn piano. I don't feel tired. What Dominic wants to do most now is to stay away from Elias. That's good. I'll go to rest first. I'm too tired today. Elias didn't see anything wrong with Dominic's expression. He nodded and agreed. He was still immersed in happiness and didn't realize what he was going to face. On my side, my relationship with Orphan has made great progress. Every day, I wait for him to come back at home like a little wife, and then give him a warm hug. Orphan looked at the little head lying on his lap, touched the fluffy hair, and looked very happy. Brother Shun, why have you become more and more clingy recently? When I said this, my face was burning like I had drunk strong alcohol, my ears were red, and I didn't dare to look at him directly. I could only glance around, and my fingers subconsciously twirled the corners of my clothes, showing my shyness completely. I like you. Orphan stretched out his hand, straightened my head, and looked at me affectionately. I like Brother Shin too. I like him very much. I like him very much. But I can't leave you. I was even more embarrassed, and my head slipped out of his lap, and my whole face fell on the sofa. Where Orphan couldn't see, the cold light swept across my pupils, completely covering the tenderness in my eyes. It's getting more and more fun. Seeing my reaction like this, Orphan stopped teasing me. I'm thin-skinned, and it's not good if I scare people later. After coaxing me to sleep, he continued to hypnotize me and made me love him more. I'm already familiar with this kind of operation. He wants to do something bad while I am asleep. How can I miss it? Sure enough, after hypnotizing me, a strange man appeared. The sound of opening the door is very small, but my hearing is really sharp. Although I can only hear on one side, I can't resist my performance. The red light in my eyes is bright, and I stand at the door of my room and eavesdrop. I perfectly grasp the blind spot of the surveillance, lean against the door, and eavesdrop. It was the first time to do such a thing, and I was very excited. Master, the things you ordered have been done. What are we going to do next? Orphan played with my piano, and he already had a relatively great plan in his mind. Next, of course, we should spread what Elias did, especially the videos related to the professor. However, these alone are not enough to bring down the Jiang family. The Jiang family can still handle these things. Orphan's voice was relaxed, as if he was talking about something very insignificant. Could it be that our conspiracy for so many years still cannot succeed? Can we still overthrow the Jiang family? Unlike the calmness of his own young master, stars beside him seemed a little anxious. What's the hurry? I have Asher. He's my trump card. I believe that if a beauty like Asher is given to the fifth young master of the Lin family, the other party should be happy to help me deal with the affairs of the Jiang family. After all, with the status of the Lin family in the whole capital, it would be easy to deal with the Jiang family. Orphan's tone was full of calculations, and there was a trace of reluctance that he himself could not detect. I hid behind the door and smiled unusually brightly. It turned out that he couldn't deal with the Jiang family either. In this way, it seems to have no need to exist, and it is still suitable to go to hell. But I still decided to keep him for a while, hoping that he can stir up a little wave, and also looking forward to his distress time. The people in the lab watched my data soaring, just like they were on a plane. The whole lab was filled with alarms, making everyone panic. They couldn't imagine how long they could stop such a person once he had the intention to kill me. The mysterious man was much more excited, and was particularly looking forward to what I would do. With the implementation of the orphan plan, Elias was pushed to the top of public opinion. There were insults and voices of defense on the internet, and both sides were arguing fiercely. When he saw the video, Elias was also panicked, but he quickly adjusted his attitude. He was very sure that there was no one at the scene except himself. As long as he didn't admit it, no one could do anything to him. In addition, everyone in the piano world knew that Elias was talented and respected Professor Venier. So there were very few people who believed in him, and it had almost no impact on him. It just slightly shook the shares of Zhang's group. Jack didn't believe that his kind brother would do such a thing. We immediately did a public relations job, which roughly meant that we could not accept any slander from anyone. Otherwise, we would be held legally responsible. After doing this, it immediately acted as a deterrent. This matter sank before it caused any waves. Orphan was not in a hurry. He was just testing the waters. What he really wanted to do was still to come.